Hello, everybody, and welcome on back. So, learning a lot of things about PlayStation. Let's see, let me get my bearings back. Oh, and look at that. It's about time to go back and dump off all the stuff. So, anyways, I did a little bit of Elden Ring, and that was awesome. I started doing musing in that, and I don't know. I'm all over the place. Like, I wanted to do like an actual just like playthrough of Elden Ring, not have to do all this like project stuff. But this is what I do. I play video games and I think about things. So, and even that, like, it was a great example. So a little backstory: I did 2 episodes of Elden Ring, quote unquote, like half an hour segments of me playing the game, and I struggled with the first boss. And usually you do in those games. Like it's the first boss is just brutal. And it's like it's just meant to set the tone, just like absolutely just work you. And then like and this one was no different. And it almost seemed like the more you attacked it aggressively, the harder it was. Because when I started to be a little more hesitant in attacking it, it was way easier. It was like it went easier on me based on what I did to it. So I don't know. And that might have just been my interpretation of what happened. That could have been, geez, I was really far down here. Sorry. And again, I know that I'm going the right way because when I'm mining, I usually put the torch on the left. Now I'm even second guessing that. No, it's on the left. But anyways, so then I approached the boss in a different way. Sorry, I just saw iron, which we are still trying to gather as much of that as we can. We do have some lapis in our inventory, so we should be able to pick that up. And I mean, there is more, but another time, maybe. I mean, diminished returns at that point. So for those couple of chunks of iron, if I ran up and got it, nah. Anyways, and see now we're glitching, and oh yeah, something about the PlayStation. So I noticed that a lot of the things. So I even have the second of that Elden Ring uploading. So yeah, for the people that are actually watching these, I apologize. I'm explaining all these things to the other people that are gonna stumble across these like down the road. Oh wait, that's right. Getting all eager into getting into another one, but um, just explaining a little coherentness about the thing. But at the same time, I don't know. Because if you know, you know, and if you watch enough of these, you kind of pick up on this thing. But if you don't, then that's kind of what's going on in a nutshell. So, oh, but my point was, is I took something like, a video game, and it was really hard. It like just the boss defeated me so bad for, although spoilers actually, see, now I'm thinking about like the timing of putting out videos, because it's like you anticipate, I don't know, you can't anticipate everything. You'd be analysis paralysis in another way. You just paralyze yourself and end up not being able to do anything. Anyways, so back to the problem solving. So, really hard enemy, and it ended up working because I approached it a different way, and I beat it instantly. It was just like, boom, it was done. So, let's go ahead and smelt this stuff, and then let's see. Oops. Yeah, I guess we could just do that, but I don't know. I need to get some more wood over here. Maybe that's what we'll do, but oh, and it's just one shy. There you go. Yeah, because I think I'm all out of wood here, and yeah, so that'll be good. We'll just do like a little brief musings for. Oh, oops. Trying to press the button. See, yeah. I need to get out of that habit too, or just have a timer somewhere. I don't know, but anyways, let's put this down. But yeah, different approaches to problem solving, and then also well, being able to be dynamic. Because it was funny, even just coming back from the thing I was doing, like there's a road closed. It looked like an accident, and just at a moment's notice, even just and then you start getting to thinking like, wait, is there some reason like this just happens to be? And there's got to be a term for that where you almost like you confuse correlation versus causation, like a feeling of somehow being special, like, oh, this is for me. Oh, wait, let's go. Sorry, there's more bone meal up here in my little experiment area where I toss all the stuff that I'm not using. Anyways, there's at least guaranteed to be a lot of bone meal here. So, yep, just need about a stack, maybe even two, because we have, bone meal for days. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. It's all related, but just the idea that like correlation versus causation. So if you see something that's like pretty incredible to believe, and you almost wonder like same thing like thinking people are following you or something. And I've read a lot of spy books, and that's why like certain things just seem strange. Like if they seem to be similar to things I've read about. Wait, what am I looking for? Saplings, and let's go with no spruce. Yeah. I also got to remember because, like, you might know what it looks like in one texture pack, but in the city texture pack, all the plants look like completely different. And then being able to tell what the translation is, or oh, in city texture it's this, or it looks like this, or if you don't know what the picture looks like, what is the word, the name? Does the name match up? So, I don't know. Again, just like random things that are just really cool in Minecraft. And if you think about that way, which I mean, if you study computer science, you will start thinking about that way, like trying to understand the underlying logic in games, and then oh, how would I make this? And and hopefully you don't go out and try to like I don't know. That's where it's like it's tricky because if you get rich and famous off of someone else's idea or algorithm, then you're really kind of getting rich off of their work. And just like plagiarism is a thing in other fields, like so as it should be in computer science, and it is because you sign a like a disclosure agreement or whatever wherever you work. I know I did one for, and again, I'm not even saying the names of the places, just like out of respect and privacy and all that. But and also because no matter what your opinion of a place, it's really not up to you to adversely affect, and that's why they do have like suing for slander and stuff like that because. And that's one of the rare times that I'll be like kind of okay with lawsuits and stuff. I still see it as a, or wait, no, I did need to cut that, but as an unnecessary expense and friction, just because the way it happens, I don't know. It's like, wait, is it not? Like the wealthy can afford lawyers and afford legal help. And actually, like I'm starting to watch Better Call Saul again. The new season just came out to Netflix. Well, not just. I mean, I've just been really busy and all that, but like, yeah, definitely starting to watch that. And yeah, and that's just it. And like we think about lawyers and cops, like in certain situations, as like being a potential enemy, and just like being a normal person, like oh the lawyers or oh the doctor's fees or all of these things, and which is like things kind of outside their control, but at the same time, like I don't know, even as I say that, people in all these fields do, like there's pro bono lawyers, there's pro bono doctors or doctors that volunteer their time or their, expertise or their consultations or, nurses donating their time working, what is it, like Nurses Without Borders or like, they'll cross state lines in emergencies and pandemics and yeah, and especially, I don't know, the thing that just happened, like extra stressful on everybody, involved in the medical field. So, yeah, I mean, we used to go out and hoot and holler at a certain time every night in honor of them. And actually, that kind of was short lived because the idea of it, I don't know, uh, it's almost like you got to think like a lot of people learn differently. Like they're either more visual learners or experiential or, instructional, I think are the three main camps. But you also got to wonder if they don't I don't know, everything. I mean, if that's how they learn better, then you got to wonder if it's like, if you can see better with these glasses, we're so meticulous about even the exact precise measurement for a prescription lens. And then we have LASIK, so then it's almost like a non-issue. But wait, only if you can afford it or have insurance. And there's so many caveats and gotchas that I don't know. We're working on it. It's not a perfect system, but like I was thinking with insurance, like insurance companies should refund a certain portion of the money after a person is deceased that they didn't use. like unused or unspent, because that's what it should be. Like, I mean, and I say that because as just like an easy, not so much target, but an easy area or surface to address like these issues of, inflation and why everything's so expensive and all that. Well, it's because the price of everything has gone up, and more like the price of education, the price of like doing anything, and then it's like, we expect higher everything, and then rent's going up. It's all related, but I mean, and that's just in a nutshell. And that's with my mild understanding of economics, which is very basic, mind you. I have one microeconomics, one macroeconomics, accounting, finance, marketing, management, and all of these don't directly address that. And I even wrote a paper on like the housing crisis and the bubble, and I still couldn't tell you like all of the actual things. I would really want to trust an expert, is what I'm saying. And then when I listen to what the experts say, then it's like really some doom and gloom, and then it's like, okay, now I'm nervous because I trust the experts in the field, and when they're talking economics, you know. But then they say things like there's a fix, and here's what you do, and they outline like what you would need to do. And then it's a matter of like probably untangling a different mess, like untangling chords in a literal IT situation, or untangling, policy, bureaucratic red tape that, well, it's just been this way forever, and, it takes this much effort to change it, so we'll just not change it. Or, we have to try to sneak this in as a negotiation tactic with the quote unquote other side. It's just ridiculous. And it still comes down to city versus non-city, or city versus urban, or rural, or no, what is it? Rural versus urban. See, I don't even know, but small town versus city really is what it is. And then, you know, every country's got that going on. You think about, I don't know. It's weird to think about. Whenever we talk about China, I just think about this super high-tech society and like constantly competing with us, when really that's not the case. I mean, probably, I don't know. I haven't been, so I can't really speak about too much authority. But I imagine if it's anything like the U.S., like it's a pretty big land area, and they've had time to expand into that big area and be united and pool their resources together. It's like the idea of carpooling. And though, so like at the beginning, it's a good idea, but then it's like you need to kind of shed off some pieces and then let them do their own thing and be like a new America, but maybe with a lot less bloodshed than the Revolutionary War. I mean, but still, it's like, oh, because it's almost like if you did like some consumer feedback on like, do you think it was a wise purchase to do the Revolutionary War? And it's like every last American will tell you, absolutely, yes. Like England's a great country, we're still like their closest ally, but it was time to, let us spread our wings and fly, and we are the great eagle. So it's even like symbolic like that, but I don't know. It's actually, we don't really need to wait around for them to disintegrate. And if they form again, like we're not even using the bone meal yet. So it's like we have plenty of options. We could just go chop down these trees, and then by the time they're ready, whoops. So I think that's how I keep getting because that has silk touch, and then I get the block of leaves or whatever, the foliage. So anyways, that's about it. I mean, you got the Russia-Ukraine thing, and then there's China and Taiwan. And I know it's like, and you got to be careful because the throughput, it's a very delicate situation because, China is very heavy on the idea of the one China policy. And I get it because like America's been saying we're on the one China policy. But just from looking at history and looking at England versus America, Russia and Ukraine, and now, it's just this kind of thing. And I don't know. It's probably not the time to be talking about this too, because like let's first worry about Ukraine, and then let's, I mean, and let's really figure out how, because maybe there's a way to pull the resources back. So I mentioned, a couple videos back that the whole idea of colonialization, colonies, how British kind of England kind of screwed over a lot of the world by taking a lot of resources. And that's just saying like a lot. That's generalization and really no exact amount. And I'm not saying we need to fault England by any means. No, that's the last thing I'm saying. Is like two wrongs don't make a right. Like what happened in the past, we need to leave in the past, but we need to fix it moving forward. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe talk about some equalization. But that's the fact of the matter is like you look at America, we succeeded and did so well. Like we got the telephone, we did the computer, like I'm pretty sure. Like I mean, I'd have to check to be sure before I start like actually bragging. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but what I'm saying is like in that short period of being around, like because it was natives that had a completely different lifestyle, And again, we're just looking at facts, not what's right or wrong. What's like, this is what I see. Um, and after a couple of horrors and atrocities, the genocide of a people and then the enslavement of another people, which this is a really horrible lesson because, yeah, we took a fast, easy path and it paid off, but then we had some horrible, we had the whole Civil War where we killed a lot of ourselves. So we paid for it in blood. And then it's like, and that's how it's easy to see like how our patriotism tends to be a little more aggressive than some other countries, I'd say. And again, I'm generalizing because I don't want to say like all, but because I mean, I definitely don't know. But just seeing what I see, we seem to be a lot more, well, supportive and very like forward leaning with our military. We spend way more. It's like an integral part of our economies. And it's almost like, oh, we spent all this money on guns and now nobody wants to use them. Ugh, and that's a scary thought. Like, mm, I don't even want to go there because that is the thing is I do support my country. I love my country, and I know that freedom is expensive. It costs lives. It costs sacrifice. At the same time, I'm like in the mind of trying to optimize and no more costing life. Like, can we take that off the table, or can we make a deal where the life stops happening? And then it's like, okay, like how hard would it be to repurpose weapons of war and factories of war weapons into like swords to plowshares? Like, and we can't do it all overnight because the same reason we can't do any of these ideas overnight. Like, if you made education just free, no, that would mess up a lot of people's plans and systems and pensions and, and oh, and then you get into like government employees, how they get like, what is it, like three quarters of, and anyways, again, it's not like, I don't know. There's a lot that can be done. And it needs to be understood that it's over time. And actually, that's another problem with like just politics. Like I've been trying to follow, the lawmaking, who votes on what, and like not even like who votes what. That's a bad example. Just like what's being voted on, and then trying to understand or see if I understand it fully. Because again, whenever we vote here in Colorado, we get a blue book explaining everything we're voting on. It presents the fors and against, and then just the facts. Like it doesn't it's tries to be as neutral as possible. And that's what I really love about Twitter community notes because it even emphasizes like, neutral or unbiased language as a metrics for community notes um whatever we're yeah, because I'm a participant in the program. I judge community notes and it's awesome seeing that stuff. Like it's like mostly it's very rare to see something that's biased because every time you submit something, everybody else is checking you and like policing you that's in the community notes group. And until they can post, like, see, I don't even have enough to like start writing my own. And that's fine because I don't have that much time, I want to say. I mean, I probably do. But to actually like find out an article, present it, I want to get to that point. And see, there's the rub. Like, if anybody's gonna do it, I need I need to be that example, and not just me. I mean, that makes it sound like I have some special ability, which I don't. Um, Although people that are technically adverse definitely seem to think so. And really, it's just I had a period in my life where I had the time to spare to deal with some tech issues, and I was stubborn and I figured it out, and I was good at it because I'm just very stubborn. Like, I mean, I constantly weigh the opportunity costs already before I even knew what opportunity costs were. All right, now we can grow some, so we can start. Yep, get more wood. But oops, you can almost see like when I try to sneak a peek at the timer. All right. No, and that's just it, is because computer science really is for everyone. And really, problem solving in a computer science mindset is for everyone. Because then it makes me feel more comfortable with decisions, with choices, like, and understand longer term ramifications. And it's hard. Like, the college age, even, whether you go to college or not, like that age, like post high school, um, it's just a really tricky time because you're already trying to figure things out, and depending on how well your parents are doing, you might not trust their judgment, or you do, or because like just like countries wanting to rebel off and do their own thing, kids do too. There's that rebellious age where they're just like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna change the world, and I know how it works, and well, yeah, and that's actually kind of scarily, eerily true to a point in the sense that they understand how the world works currently in their perspective. So, and an easy way to point that out is just how well can you use tech versus how patient and stubborn are you? And then you need to compare that. So really, you can still be up with the times if you read a physical newspaper. Like, and that is how a lot of people, I mean, I noticed like the Wall Street Journal is like a resource that um, is pretty available, I should say. And then, uh, and I actually just All right, so here's the funny thing. I'm not wealthy, but I did subscribe to the Coloradoan because I am, a Fort Collins resident or Larimer County even. I don't know. Might be Loveland soon, might be somewhere else in Fort Collins. I don't know. I don't know. Never know. That's fine. Like, it's fine. But no, basically, um, my point is I will actually invest money in things that I deem worthy. Like, and still Sublime's a coming, but because that is a tool that I use. I mean, it's a good tool, but at the same time, it's a tool. There's a lot out there, and so it's nice to give them like a tip or something for using it or however many times you used it. But at the same time, in the computer science and the tech world, people make tools all the time just as a proof of concept to show that they can do a job to go and do something completely irrelevant. Like, yeah, and just try. I don't want to think of like specific examples, to give out to information, and put anyone under the bus. But yeah, it's like, or no, actually, I feel like I've just seen it in memes. It's like a kind of a common joke is like what you learn in school versus what you do on the job as far as computer science goes. And yeah, it's a common joke. It's like, wow, this is what we do. But the thing is like to work on a car, to truly be able to work on a car, you need to understand the car inside and out, how every part interacts with the other part. And that's a big ask. That's why car mechanics are such a profession is like, and then once you really learn how to work on so many cars, then moving into other things isn't so bad until you go international and then it's like metric. And again, like America did a lot of great things, but then they did our own measuring system and we messed with a system that was the system for measurements and standards, which still, like having worked in metrics, I kind of prefer it. I know that's unpatriotic and un-American, but like it makes more sense. It's 10 to, and again, this is another joke that's, you see memes about this is like American measurements were made by some drunk person throwing darts at some or something like that. Like, how long is a mile? Well, 5280. Or like, and how do you remember that? Like my grandma ate two tomatoes or something, or 5280 is something two tomatoes. And it's like, hey, here's a thought. Why don't we just go back to metrics where everything makes sense? And yeah, it's funny, but it's reality. And at the same time, we have, the major car manufacturers, not all of them, but a lot of them. And, they're not made in metrics. So like, and, America built and all this. And we were a contender. We still are of the world economy. And how do you do that with a country that's only 200, 300 years old? Like, because the whole time this is going on, everybody else had been doing stuff for thousands of years, and then we go off. We're like, I mean, granted, we stood on the shoulders of England. We had all of England's advances, and then we broke away to do our own thing. And that's the thing. When you say it like that way, well, that's like every Zuckerberg out there, like wanting to go, or whatever. Like, and then it's just like, okay, so I can see how people would do that. I understand why my ancestors did it. It was dumb of them, but then it's like I kind of get it. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but okay. And no, and what we don't do that now because we know better. I mean, and that's really the reality. World War is like, I mean, tensions are high, but at the same time, oh, it's more just like disgruntled and just like, murmuring. Except for all this other, like the Trump nonsense. I guess that's this Tuesday because I saw some stuff on the lines about that. And it's like, all right, oh no, I just glitched into the tree. Is it because I said the T word? No. Wait, what happened? Did it just grow again? Oh, another one grew, I think. I think another tree grew. Uh, and it filled in all the. No, this is going to be a pain. Yeah, another tree grew and filled. Because I mean, these trees are growing like right next to each other. And I'll take that too. And that's the other thing about like it is kind of better to like let the leaves clear out and stuff because then you end up with abominations that we'll see here. And I don't know, even like the word abomination, like yeah, I grew up reading the Bible and learning like religion and that and stuff, but or at least Christianity. But then I played a lot of things like StarCraft and Warcraft, where in Warcraft 3, yeah, in 3 you have what's known as an abomination, which you raise a zombie like thing that's like gosh, and even saying that, like, I don't know, and that's the thing. We had video games. My parents' generation had Pong, Atari, like, okay. The most violent it got was like Donkey Kong in the 80s, and that's like a monkey throwing barrels at you. Okay. And so that's just where that throughput comes in. Like, they had a lot less violent video games. And not saying violent video games are bad, but if anything, they're actually kind of a deterrent because then it's like, you know, you really like I'm thinking about like Call of Duty video games. Like, yeah, they're really fun to play when you can restart. But then even just giving someone a frame of reference, be like, oh, could you imagine that being a real life? And it's like, ew, no, wait, what? Really? No. Like, because that's death and there is no restart. And like, and then if you just put that as a frame of reference, like think about the first time you died in this video game and then you're done. You don't have a life, a future, anything like that. Show's over, no reset button. And it's just like the kids of today's generation and even, my generation understand it a little better. And granted, I was just playing like Wolfenstein. And I say that a bunch, but Castle Wolfenstein, because I found out there's even an older version of just like regular Wolfenstein, I guess, that's more like Mario original, whatever, the Donkey Kong 2D, whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. But, anyways, you have what you learn in school from the books about, World War II and the Nazis, and it was all bad. Yeah, okay. But you only learn as much as your imagination. And so, right there, if you happen to be, really nerdy and read a lot of books when you're a kid, like, I mean, I read a lot of books. In fact, I was reading The Elf Sons of Shannara in third grade, so that's like a 350 page novel about like elves and knights and magic, basically Lord of the Rings. Um, and yeah, because reading was just very encouraged in my household, and it still is. I mean, with my next generation, but oh yeah, sorry, we get on with it. Get the things and the stuff. I mean, yeah, emeralds are like, and I am. It doesn't- I am gonna need your llamas. Sorry. Ah, as the alarm goes off, like it's something wrong. All right. Anyways, so that's just what I'm saying is like frames of reference and understanding generational differences. And that's why I have more confidence and faith in the world as a whole. India, China, BRICS. Like, I admit that was alarming when I first saw that, but then I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, we are kind of jerks in the grand scheme of things at times with certain things. So I understand. It doesn't make it right, and we all need to like not do anything rash. But at the same time, ow, ow, ow. Like, I get it. I get why you're mad if you're mad. Half of our country is mad all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't win in this country. Like, half of our country is mad when there's a Democrat president. Then the other half gets mad when the other president comes in, and vice versa. Like, it's an ongoing internal civil war. It's like we never really settled the Civil War. It's just like we started, because again, it's like who focuses more, who puts business over people, including the business of warfare, let's be honest, and sorry, or who puts logic or people over business. That's about it. That's your red versus blue. And I can let you guess who does what. Because, some people claim, oh, the spending and oh, we can't be spending too much and spending and spending. And it's like the boogeyman, the financial boogeyman. And like, oh, the economy is going to shut down and everything. Okay, sorry, the debt ceiling nonsense. Like, that just happened. And then China holds all this debt and like bought up a lot of America. So they like kind of own us. And then, I don't know. So the thing is like, we need to untangle this cords, this bunch of cords, and that's where I'll leave you at. We'll do that. So, and hey, look at that, we're right at 30 minutes. All right, ta ta. Have a good night. Happy Sunday. See ya.